Greetings and salutations to one and all. Welcome to another edition of Healthy Love right here on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. How you doing? Kicking it off tonight with the sound of J-Dell. The track is called Priority. Jiddle says, it's that time again. That time when you get to prioritize, yeah? You know what you're doing. When you're doing it, why you're doing it. For her, it's all about that getting on by the time. But sometimes, you take that opportunity to get on, but it brings about some other things. When those other things come along, then you have to wonder, where does my priority lie? I want to say welcome to each and everyone locked in and loaded up. Big ups to those on TuneIn Radio, the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew. Was locked in from across the pond, One Harmony Radio, top of the morning to you guys over there in the UK. Big ups to those out in New York, on Island worldwide, displaying the power of music. Big ups to those over there in New Jersey at NIE Radio. Blessed Earth Day to rock. Big ups the motivator. I want to say big ups to those who are tuned in out of Texas on WGLRO, home of the People Station. Home of the Donnie Walker Morning Show, the People Station. Let's get it right. Taking it from the sheets to the streets for the Donnie Walker Morning Show. Big ups to the Oliwap family and the Dusick Media Group family. Much love, much respect. I want to say big up to those who are tuned in on ClintonLindsay.com, the Foundation Radio Network. Welcome. I want to say hello to those who are on Facebook Live. inviting you all to call a friend, tell a friend, friends of your friends. Call your enemies, enemies of your friends, friends of your enemies. Call everybody, tell everybody, share it with everybody. It's a night shift with DJ Kevin Stew, Healthy Love Night. Bouncing in the background, the sound of JDL. It's crazy that I should leave out everyone locked in at the home of the night of the DJ Kevin Stew, kevinstew.com. That's crazy. How can I leave them out? Yeah man, kevinstew.com is the place where you're invited to have acceptance through enlightenment. Because it's all about the growth, yeah? Yeah man, when you're looking at your priorities, you know, other things don't really matter that much. Because your priority is what takes precedence, is what you focus on the most. Of course, those of you who are locked in on Facebook Live, just reminding you, it's only a segment broadcast or segment simulcast. Everything happens on kevinstew.com. So you can go ahead and jump on over, you don't have to wait. The link is pinned in the comment section for those of you on Facebook Live. Everyone else locked in, you're invited to go to kevinstew.com. Home of the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew. And you're also invited to jump into the stew pot. Again, the stew pot is what others will call a chat room. But because we're fancy over here on kevinstew.com, we call it the stew pot. It's where we keep things interactive and bubbling. You can join in and let me know who you are, or you can remain anonymous and share your comments, ask your questions. As we wait for the good doctor to join us. There were some things that she had to take care of and finalize just before getting on air. But in the meantime, in between time, we get to hang out for a little bit. Tonight we're going to be looking at breastfeeding. But before we get into that, I want to say thank you to my segment sponsor. As a matter of fact, I need to address all my sponsors. Paul C Media Group, thank you very much for sponsoring this first segment of the broadcast. When being in a moment is priceless, give them a call for innovative streaming and recording solutions. 754-999-6020. You have a wedding, funeral, church service, seminar, party. You want to stream it live on a secure platform where you can run your own ads and be comfortable knowing that this is all yours. Put it on your website like I do, kevinstew.com. Go ahead and give him a call. 754-999-6020. Tell him DJ Kevin Stew sent you. I want to say thank you to Althea and her Healing Heavenly Hands. Althea is a licensed massage therapist that comes to you, operating out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade, and South Palm Beach counties. She comes to you COVID-free and definitely would like to leave that way. She also has over 20 years of experience. Her only request is that, well, outside of paying her, that is, when she's done giving you that massage, you get off her table and go sleep somewhere else. Give her a call, 954-655-9000, or email her at thealater@att.net. And if you're in search of a personal trainer, you can talk to her about that too. She is certified as a personal trainer. So she'll put your muscles in pain and then soothe them later with a good massage. When you call her, tell her you heard about her on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. I want to say thank you to Reggae Global Entertainment. Reggae Global will act as your booking agent, handle your tour management, take care of your copyrights, publishing, trademarks, business registration, legal service referrals, music production, marketing and promotion, and more. Give them a call, 954-804-8199. Link them between 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern. And you can also check them out on reggaeglobalentertainment.com. I want to say big ups to those over there at GMAC Music Solutions. And thank you for sponsoring the musical therapy segment that closes out the night shift every night. GMAC Music Solutions provides sound, light, stage production services, musical equipment, PA systems, audio engineers, DJs, bands, musicians, singers, and more. Give them a call, 754-307-4622. Quick way to remember it, 754-307-GMAC. You can also check them out at gmacmusicsolutions.com. When you link them, say, hey, listen, there's this guy, DJ Kevin Stew. I heard about your business when I was listening to his program. I have an event coming up. What can you do for me? I'm pretty sure the next question that will come from him is, okay, well, tell me what you need. And then they'll take it from there. Make your event come to life. Thank you to my segment sponsors. Truly appreciate, love you. So, as we look at breastfeeding tonight, or this morning, depending on where you are, thank you, JDL, with a track called Priority. So, depending on where you are in the world this morning, this afternoon, tonight, looking at breastfeeding, let me just kind of set this up before the good Dr. Lexie joins us. Breastfeeding is said to be one of those personal matters. And it is one that is likely to draw opinions from friends and families and strangers alike. Why exactly people get so into sharing their opinions about breastfeeding, I don't know. People feel differently about it in different circles. But many medical experts, including the American Academy of Pediatrics and the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, strongly recommend breastfeeding exclusively No formula, no juice, no water for 6 months. Breastfeeding only. And after that, then the introduction of other foods, it is recommended continuing to breastfeed through the baby's first year of life. That is what some of the good doctors say. Now, fortunately for us, we get to have a good doctor joining us to talk about breastfeeding on a more personal level, sharing with us from right here in South Florida. And without further ado, I get to introduce to you tonight and coming back on future nights for Healthy Love. I introduce to you, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Lexie. Dr. Lexie, welcome to the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. You there?
I'm here. Thank you for having me.
Okay, awesome. Glad to have you. And the
So I
crowd goes
caught a
wild.
I caught a bit of your intro, and you are right. With exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months of life, um, leading up to the first year. However, the World Health Organization recommends that children be breastfed up to 2 years of age and
Okay,
beyond if desired.
all right, because I was going to ask the question about that because what I know is for the first 2 years of life, the breast is the best. But we'll get a little bit deeper into that in a moment. Officially, welcome to the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew, Dr. Lexie. One thing I didn't let you know before is, and you might have heard me say it before, but just so that you know, and I'm telling you right now, this is really your show. I'm just facilitating it. So I get to actually put up your picture and go play with my shadow. But I just wasn't going to let you know that before now. Um, for those of you listening in, numbers to call, numbers to text, 773-789-STEW gets you in touch. 773-789-7839. You can call, text, share your opinions, your views, give some of your input. Those of you who are locked in on Facebook Live, remember it's only temporary, so don't get too comfortable over there. We will end this broadcast at some point, so just go over to kevinstew.com. Don't even waste time. Just go. All right. You can remain anonymous if you wish. All right. So, Dr. Lexie, tell us who you are. Who is Dr. Lexie?
So I am a family nurse practitioner. I am a philanthropist. I founded Island Hope International, a 501c3 Florida-based nonprofit organization. We just hosted our inaugural I'm Every Woman Health Expo last month.
Mm-hmm.
And I am an entrepreneur and a maternal infant child health advocate.
Wow. I don't know how you managed to get all of those into one hat, but you are the boss.
Boss lady, as they would say, right?
Right. So going back to the little bit of a chat that we started off with this breastfeeding thing, how is it that, okay, so that information, as according to American Academy of Pediatrics, the AAP, I got that information from webmd.com. So what, I don't know if you know, and if you can't give me that information right now off the top of your head, that's fine. But what's with the disparity? I have my own opinions about that, but the difference in time, they're saying first 6 months and then you can do whatever after that. And I remember for a long time. I would dare to say as long as I have been doing healthy love on a night shift, and I've been doing this going on 11 years now. I remember starting healthy love with my chiropractor, Dr. Janice J. Love Stone, and the very first time we talked about breastfeeding, she was saying, "Hey, the first 2 years of life is critical to developing immunity, which is why it is recommended that you make sure you keep breastfeeding going within that time frame." So that has always stuck with me. For
Well, mhm.
for them to say 6 months, the WHO to recommend 2 years, what's up with that?
So the 2 years from for the WHO is not contrary to the 6 months. And let me explain. So
Mm-hmm.
it's recommended for newborns, infants, to be exclusively breastfed for the first 6 months of life.
Mm.
And then to continue on with breastfeeding, but you're going to supplement with solids.
Okay.
Now, at the 6 month mark is when babies are typically ready to start having solids introduced, but not every child is ready at that time.
Got you.
You just have to go with cues and different developmental milestones that they've reached.
Mm-hmm.
There's a thing called baby-led weaning. So babies can start pointing to food and grabbing it and putting it in their mouth, and they're able to show interest in starting solids versus you starting them with spoon to mouth
Got you.
type thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And where they're able to grab a piece of, like, let's say, a piece of banana and they're chewing it instead of it being pureed. Those are the differences between baby-led weaning versus you weaning them to start foods.
Oh, okay.
But
I thought you were
um,
saying versus me weaning because I haven't gotten there yet. I'm sorry.
no, but babies should have milk, human milk, for at least the first year of life. And again, exclusively breastfeeding, meaning nothing else, no substitutes,
Mm-hmm.
unless it's medically necessary,
Okay.
deemed by your healthcare provider, just breast milk for the first 6 months. No water, the baby's getting enough water and other nutrients from the breast milk, so there's no need to introduce anything else to the baby
Mm.
before then. After then you start the baby starts eating solids, and then that's the transitional period where they're still having milk, but they're having some food, but the solids are not the main staple of their diet as yet.
Got you.
And it may not be the main staple of their diet till they're about 15 to 18 months, years old. Every child is different. But for the first year of life,
Okay. So up until at least a year and a half.
yeah, a year to year and a half.
Okay.
Every child is different. Where because some people are able to eat mostly meals, maybe need at one by the time they reach their first birthday, they may just need a nighttime or a morning milk,
Mm-hmm.
but the rest of the day that they're fine with just food, solid food, until they're completely weaned off of needing to have any form of human milk.
Boy, those poor mothers. Because when those teeth start coming, boy. Mm. Mm. Mm.
I know the teeth can deter a lot of people, but there are ways to go around it and to train your child to not bite
Mm.
and use it as a teether, the breast as a teether, rather than for comfort and nutrition purposes.
Right.
So there are ways that you can go about it. And speaking to a lactation consultant like myself, or um, a provider like myself, or your child's pediatrician, you're able to learn different methods to tell your child that's not okay.
Got you.
Yeah.
All right. So there you have the pretty much the what would be considered your your starting place, your foundation that you're laying with breastfeeding, knowing, having an idea then how long you're going to be breastfeeding is pretty much what would be the foundation of it all, right?
Yes. So I would say, I mean, the longer the better,
Mm.
because truthfully, the first 1,000 days of a child's life is the most vital in their growth and development.
All right, so let's do some math now. The first 1,000 days, 365 in 1 year, so that is 3. You're talking a little bit over 3 years.
Yeah, about 3 years.
Huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
So,
yes,
are there people that breastfeed up to 3 years?
there are people who breastfeed beyond 3 years, but it's not that common, especially in the United States. But abroad, in different countries, you may see that to be the norm, especially in areas where there are not a lot of resources.
You know, I dare to ask a question about the health of the individuals that have been breastfed longer than 6 months versus those that have been breastfed just 6 months, or even worse yet, what is the maternity leave period these days? What, 6 weeks?
Well, that is a great question. So it actually all depends on your institution. Some hospitals that I've worked with, they give you a year off if you want it. But that doesn't mean you're getting a paid year off, but you can
Hmm.
take up to a year off. Some places only give you 6 weeks. If you've had a cesarean section, then they'll give you a little longer time since that is a major surgery.
Hmm.
And some of it is paid, some of it is unpaid. But the FMLA, as it stands, you're allowed up to 12 weeks off,
12
but that's
weeks.
not paid time. So that's 3 months.
Yeah. So I guess anything, it's all about expressing at this point. So you bottle your breast milk and you send it with baby wherever baby going is going to be.
Wh- Yes. So with the maternity leave, which is horrendous, if I might state, it's really bad, honestly, because in the industrialized countries,
Hmm.
other than the US, you'll see longer maternity leaves. In Canada, for example, it's like 9 months. Sweden is like 2 years. Some places are a year. I don't
Hmm.
want to misquote. I think the UK gives you about 6 months to a year, something like that. Australia and some other places follow suit.
Hmm.
In the US, there's really no standard in terms of what employers must offer.
Mm.
So some are more generous than others. However, the FMLA does require 12 weeks of unpaid leave. And some of these places, some of these countries, some of these institutions that you work for will give you a paid leave. So you may not get full pay, but you'll get some type of a stipend, if
Hmm.
you will, for having babies.
Okay. You see, now again, I have my opinions where it comes to things like that in the United States,
Hmm.
and it really bothers me because it's all about the almighty dollar
Hmm.
in the US, it seems, and eh, I don't know how you can have such little regard for your most precious resource. You can't make
Yes,
money without people.
exactly. And the only way to have people is to let people, families, be able to reproduce without fear of retribution, fear of losing their job, fear of inability to afford to have any children or to
Mm-hmm.
expand their family beyond one child. So it is something that hindsight is better, foresight is better than having this, oh, we should have done this and trying to rectify it now. But if you really want to improve employer happiness and to improve the longevity of your business, you'd invest in people. And investing in people means investing into their benefits. So
Right.
disability benefits, their healthcare benefits, family leave, support,
Mm-hmm.
bereavement,
Right.
supporting them when they have their decision to make to start a family of their own, um, and providing them with a space, which is by law, you're supposed to provide women with a space to breastfeed and time, give them time separate from their lunch break and their normal break to breastfeed.
Oh,
So
so
creating like these atmospheres, flexible time to do those things, especially with childcare, is concerned, will not only improve the retention rate, the happiness of the employees rather, but also make your company more suitable and attractive for the persons who want to expand their family and become parents one day or who are parents.
mm. And it's a little bit interesting when you mention a mother being given the space and the time to breastfeed. I guess in this case it would be since they're back at work after. I'm gonna be generous and say 8 weeks, 2 months. No, they're taking some time to express their milk. Now, the question is, if this is the case where they have to be back at work and they're expressing the milk, do they have somewhere that they can keep that milk and
They're
preserve it?
supposed to. They're supposed to. So by law, the employers are supposed to provide a space separate and private from everyone else where women can express their milk as well as store it during the workday, which would be the appropriate freezer fridge combination.
But you see, all right, and I left corporate America late last year, and I remember being in that office. Looking back at it now, I never thought about it then, but looking back at it now, the only place a mother would have to go and express milk would be the bathroom.
That's not. That is not
Are they going to the
fine.
car?
Yeah, that's not appropriate according to the Department of Labor standards. And any employer that does not, that meets the federal limits, which is someone who has 50 or more employees,
Mm-hmm.
they're supposed to provide a space that's not a bathroom, that's private, so that women can be comfortable to pump and store their milk.
I've never been in an office that had that.
Oh, a lot of people are not complying to federal standards with
I,
a lot of things.
I don't know if
So that is
anybody
not
listening.
surprising.
I don't know if anybody listening working in the continental U.S. In their place of employment can say that they have somewhere in their job that a mother can go and express their milk and then be allowed to store it safely. You know,
I've seen it. I've personally seen it at a few of the places I've worked at. Have I seen it everywhere? No.
And okay, you're talking about medical facilities,
Yes.
and that's kind of expected in a medical facility. And given the your area of expertise, where you are seeing pregnant or young mothers, newborn mothers of newborns, that would be the norm. That's kind of expected. But the average person who has had a child going on 3 months, covering the period of time that is recommended that they're breastfeeding, uh, I don't know. I can't say that space exists in corporate America, in the majority of corporate America.
And that should not be the case. So if your employer does not have a separate space for you that's designated that you can use to breastfeed as well as store, that's separate from where everyone else puts their lunch. It should be a separate fridge for breast milk storage only. Then you need to speak to HR about it, and your if you don't have HR, talk to your manager, supervisor, someone who has authority. And if not, then you can always file a complaint with the Department of Labor.
Well, I guess the logistical argument would probably be, well, we have one pregnant person in the whole organization,
It
or
doesn't
we
matter.
have one new mother in the entire organization of 200 people.
It doesn't matter. Just like you're supposed to be compliant with ADA standards and with fair hiring practices, you're
Right.
supposed to be compliant with this. And this is something that has been enacted for a while.
But apparently not enforced.
Well, it can only be enforced. Well, people don't know their rights. That's one thing.
Gotcha.
People don't know that they do have this right. So
Right.
if people do know they have this right, then they can speak up and things can get done. Because let's just face it, people will get away with things they can get away with for as long as they can, even though they know better,
Right.
until they're put to the test.
Right. So for anyone listening to this live broadcast, or if you're tuning into the podcast, those of you who wondering where's the podcast, it's the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew everywhere that you can listen to your major podcasts. Or if you're catching it on YouTube, go ahead and check out your rights. What right do you have as a mother within those first 3 years of life? However long that you can exercise this right. And if you're getting backlash from your employers, then you need to know what recourse you can take there also. Because it doesn't make sense to me, and again, I'm just a lay guy that has a mic and a camera. But it doesn't make sense to me that your most precious resource gets the worst treatment. It just doesn't. Okay,
So I
so
just sent you a link
yes.
to the Department of Labor, which explicitly states what employers must provide. So federal law requires employers to provide reasonable break time for an employee to express milk for her nursing child for 1 year after the child's birth. Each time such employee has a need to express the milk, see Section 7 of the FLSA, which is the Fair Labor Standards Act, which was also amended by the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act back in 2010. So if women and men too can advocate on behalf of the breastfeeding mother
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
for these workplace rights. So just like you are entitled to a lunch break after working X amount of hours,
Right.
you are entitled to break time that's separate from your lunch period. You are entitled to pumping.
Mm-hmm.
And studies have shown that when women are allotted time to go and express their milk, one, it helps to reduce the absenteeism because they don't have to call out of work
Right.
because breast milk is very beneficial to prevent a lot of childhood diseases.
Mm-hmm.
Two, it improves the morale and helps with the mother's conflict, internal conflict of returning to work but yearning to be home with her child.
Right.
Three, it helps to boost satisfaction and retention. And it is very expensive to replace someone rather to just provide them with the space they need to feed their child.
Mm.
Babies have rights too. Children have rights.
Right.
So we need to shift away from this super capitalistic framework and realize the benefit of human resources.
Mm-hmm. Crazy.
Without the mom's ability to bear a child or to adopt a child and care for that child, then you will not have a workforce to replace those that are retiring.
I guess that's where automation comes into play.
Not every job can be automated.
This is
So,
true. You know, listen, I'm right there with you, as you can probably tell. You know,
yeah.
I am right there. Now, I know I kind of um, went off on a little bit of a tangent, somewhat, but there are some other things that you wanted specifically to address tonight.
Oh no, this is fine.
Okay, great.
But yeah, it's just breastfeeding, knowing the importance of breastfeeding. There are a lot of people out there that say fed is best.
Mm-hmm.
And that statement in of itself is a misrepresentation and misinformation because it is essentially equating that formula is as efficacious and suitable for babies and toddlers
Mm.
than breast milk, than human milk. And that is not the case. Human milk is superior. I am pro breastfeeding, pro breast milk, human milk,
Yes.
but I am not anti formula. Formula does have its place, but it's very rare that in rare conditions that will prevent mothers from feeding their babies human milk.
So
Very rare.
so when you say formula has its place, what place is this?
So for children who are unable to metabolize breast milk, maybe they
Gotcha.
have PKU um, or some other metabolic um, conditions such as galactosemia, then they would need to be on a specialized formula.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Preterm infants may need to be on formula to not to substitute, but to add to the breast milk just for the sake of their growth. But that's not
To
always the case.
supplement.
It's a supplement, but that's not
Okay.
always the case. Women may just need to feed more frequently and to pump just to give that child um, more of the colostrum and more of the breast milk to ensure proper growth and development of the preterm infant.
Gotcha.
But in that case, that may be needed. If women have other conditions like, let's say, HIV,
Hmm.
HIV is, it depends on which organization authority that you follow. The World Health Organization will say that women with HIV can breastfeed,
Hmm.
especially there's no other safer alternatives.
Right.
But in the US, the CDC is not for that. However, that doesn't mean that the child can't get human milk. There's
Hmm.
something called donor milk, where women donate their breast milk. It could be women who stop breastfeeding their child. They may have lost their child, their baby, at birth or sometime during the infancy, or they may just have an overabundant supply and they decide they want to share that wealth. So there are milk banks across the nation, across your cities and states that you can acquire human milk to feed your child instead of going to formula. And
So just
this milk is screened. They're screened for diseases and any medications that's not safe. So and
gotcha.
pasteurized as well.
So just like you can go to the blood bank and get blood or give blood, you have milk banks.
Exactly. And just similar screening processes. Okay, what conditions do they have? The blood is tested to make sure that it is safe before it's given. Just
Gotcha.
likewise, the milk is also tested and screened from the donor screen to make sure that milk is um, good to be given to someone else. And it's also pasteurized, just like dairy, cow milk
Yeah.
is pasteurized. Human donor milk is also pasteurized.
Okay. So here in the stew pot and those listening in, if you hear me talking about the stew pot is what others call a chat room. Because we're fancy on kevinstew.com, we call it the stew pot. It's where we keep things interactive and bubbling. And someone here saying the mom may be on medication or the mom doesn't produce milk. And I'm the medication part I could understand. You know, people have different conditions and it doesn't prevent them from getting pregnant, but because they do have a child, um, whatever drugs that they're on to treat those conditions could affect the child through breastfeeding. Before you touch on that, Doc, I want to say to those locked in on Facebook Live, jump on over to kevinstew.com. I'm going to end the Facebook Live session right now. So, y'all take care until we do it again. All right, so it's all about kevinstew.com now and those in the stew pot. And of course, those that are listening in on the affiliate stations all over the globe: One Harmony Radio in the UK, NIE Radio in New Jersey, Island Worldwide in New York, WGLRO out of Texas, Dusick Media Group, Oliwat Media Group out of Texas, the Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com out of South Florida also. Truly appreciate love y'all. All right, so Doc, the addressing this comment here in the stew pot, the medication that moms may be on and moms not producing. How often do you come across moms that are not producing breast milk?
So that is a that can be a misconception that you're not producing milk.
Okay.
Um, but let me go back to the whole medication portion of it.
All right.
So there are medications that will prohibit you from breastfeeding, which is chest feeding, latching the child to the breast or expressing that milk
Mm-hmm.
and giving to the child. But for depending on how long the medication needs to be given or the type of medication. However, not all medications warrant the cessation of breastfeeding for that period of time. So it's best to talk to your provider and the pharmacist to see what medications, if you are on any medications, over the counter medication supplements as well, that will is not a good idea for you to continue breastfeeding for that moment in time.
Right.
But there are other medications as well that may, and conditions that may decrease the milk supply as well.
Mm.
And that's where a lactation consultant will come into play to help facilitate in the continuance of breastfeeding. Now, going back to not producing a lot of milk, when women try to express using either hand expression or pump, whether it be a manual pump, electric pump, hospital grade pump,
Mm-hmm.
they may not see a lot of milk coming out, and
Right.
they're saying that they're not producing a lot. However, the best thing person to extract the milk from the breast is that baby. So the baby will be able to pull more milk out of the breast than a pump will.
Is there any?
And
Go
uh-huh.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna ask, is there any way that dad can play a part in helping with the expressing of the
Oh, of
milk?
course, of course. I will touch base on that shortly. Um, so back to the milk thing.
Mm-hmm.
Also, people think that the baby is not satiated because they're crying. Babies communicate by crying and by cooing.
Mm-hmm.
So, working with a lactation consultant will help moms and dads, care providers, to learn the early cues of hunger.
Mm-hmm.
Because by the time the baby is crying, it is too late. Like,
Mm.
you've seen the commercials for Snickers
Yes.
where the person is somebody else,
Right. Right.
and once they have their Snicker bar, they become themselves
Themselves
again.
again. Right.
So you've heard the term coined hangry, hungry and angry together.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're hungry, what happens? Your belly starts to growl. You may start getting a headache, and you may start feeling a little faintish and weak, and you just feel a little off
Mm-hmm.
and then it progresses until your belly is like angry at you, and you hear the gas bubbles, and you start like your mood starts to change. Likewise, and you start lashing out at people, right?
Right.
Likewise, the baby starts giving a little cues. They may start being fussy a little bit, or you start seeing the hand to mouth and the sucking and the rooting. And what happens? They may put pacifiers in the baby's mouth. Pacifiers have its place,
Mm-hmm.
but and it does help to soothe the baby, but you're masking the cues of hunger
Gotcha.
just so that you can continue doing other things. And then when the baby is crying now, then you're like, oh, the baby's hungry, you need to do this and that. But
No, you're
that
stressed.
the baby's stressed, and so you need to calm the baby so before you try to feed the baby, because the baby is so angry, so stressed out, so hangry
Mm-hmm.
that even though the food is right there, they can't organize themselves to eat, to drink the milk. And so you need to, there are techniques that can be done, rocking the baby skin to skin, um, putting a little bit of the breast milk on your finger and letting the baby suck on the finger a little bit to calm the baby.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can go ahead and latch,
Gotcha.
attempt with latching. So it's important to learn these cues and to know what to expect so that you don't have to worry about the crying baby. Babies may be satiated fine. They fed well, they burped, when they're latched, they and they finish feeding, they start letting go, so the suction is not there, so you know that the baby's full.
Mm-hmm.
But then the baby may be crying like half an hour or so later. That doesn't necessarily mean the baby's hungry. The baby may need to be held, wants that skin to skin, want it's hot, cold, um,
Needs a change.
wants needs to be changed, wants attention.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so many other cues. Or the baby may be in pain, maybe a little fussy. Did you birth the baby in between
Mm.
what
The feeding
before,
during
yeah,
feeding.
during the feeding and after the feeding.
Gotcha.
So did you overfeed? If you're bottle feeding, did you overfeed the baby? Because then now you have the reflux and that burning. And so
Mm.
the baby can only communicate primarily by crying. And crying does not always necessitate hunger.
Right.
So it's important to know, because overfeeding the baby, whether you formula feed or express and give through the bottle,
Mm-hmm.
puts the baby at risk for so many things, such as obesity, reflux, um, and diabetes and other issues.
From
So
and this is
from
from
overfeeding
overfeeding with breast milk.
with bottle feeding. So whether you formula feed, use formula or breast milk,
Diabetes
especially
and
at
being overweight.
overweight, obesity during infancy and into child and adulthood. So the the misconception that the baby's hungry, hungry, hungry leads to overfeeding, as well as not knowing about how much to feed, what is expected amounts to feed. Because when the baby is born,
Mm-hmm.
their stomach is the size of a marble, which is about 5 to 7 milliliters. That's 1 teaspoon.
Mm.
Yet, if you're formula feeding, what happens? You're giving the baby a whole ounce or two. What's going to happen? A lot
That's
of
why they
spit
end
up,
up with that
irritation,
pot belly.
yeah, and they end up with reflux and irritation and crankiness and colicky. And you're overfeeding the baby, and so they're accelerating the weight gain.
Mm.
And people think, oh, chubby babies are best and healthy. That's not the case. If the baby was born chubby to begin with, that's a different story. But if you're overfeeding and lending to that,
Mm-hmm.
then it becomes an issue. So when
Mm.
moms are saying, okay, if they're not, when they're pumping, when especially during the first few days postpartum, they're saying they're not producing enough milk. You only need to produce a little bit, a teaspoon, and that's the colostrum for the early days of postpartum that the baby needs to help pass the meconium, to help with the flora of the intestines,
Mm-hmm.
for the good bacteria, good gut health, to help with the antibodies, um, to prevent infection, especially from the passage um, from the birth canal.
Right.
And, it's like coronavirus is out and about. It's been shown that antibodies are in the breast milk as well, whether you're vaccinated or have had the disease.
Mm-hmm.
And having coronavirus does not prevent you from breastfeeding, whether you chest feed or express. You can safely go ahead and get that. Unless you are taking medication that is contraindicated for breastfeeding, that's a different story.
And when you mentioned coronavirus, you're specifically talking about COVID-19.
Yes, COVID
Gotcha.
19. Yes. And so this whole notion of bottle feeding and getting back to work, it's all societal norms, if you will,
Mm.
because not every woman, regardless of their intention and desire to breastfeed, can have that luxury, because they may need to go back to work before they should.
Right.
You hear of women who had their babies today and back to work a week or two after. And that's not healthy for either person,
Either neither
the
the
mom
baby nor the
or
mom.
the mom and the family, because the baby is not getting that growth and development from being with mom.
Right.
And it's not just a matter of breastfeeding nutrition. There's a psychosocial growth and development component there for both mom and baby that's there. So mom goes to work, back to work. Depression can or some other mood disorders can set in. That ends up affecting how she functions at work. It affects how she interacts with others and her family and taking it out on other people.
Mm-hmm.
She could end up resenting the baby. That's not always the case. But women are not afforded that opportunity if they work in low income jobs that don't provide benefits. Because
Right.
remember, the paid, even though you have paid, leave, it's not paid,
Mm-hmm.
which is why not Obama, sorry, Biden, with his agenda, has recently stated that he wants legislation to approve 12 weeks of paid maternal leave. My opinion, that's not enough time. You need to have 6 months,
Mm-hmm.
be able to stay home for at least 6 months, longer if you have a preterm infant. But at least that's a start.
Now,
That's a start.
I guess, the debate for that, goes into the whole functioning of the economy and encouraging, if they're sending a message that people should just go out and have babies, um, just because they get this time off. So I guess that argument is for the parliamentary floor. But
I mean, if you look at other industrialized nations, you'll see a tremendous positive psychosocial growth for the mom as well, because she doesn't have to choose between having a family,
yes,
caring for her infant, and worry about if she's able to climb up the ladder at work.
right.
Um, in the UK, I was just reading here that there is paid maternity leave, and eligible employees can take up to 52 weeks maternity leave. The first 26 is known as what is it called, ordinary maternity leave, and the last 26 weeks known as additional maternity leave.
Mm-hmm.
And the earliest the leave can be taken is 11 weeks before the expected week of childbirth, unless the baby is born early.
So you can get
So
11 weeks before.
prior, up to, yeah. And then employees must take at least 2 weeks after the birth, or 4 weeks if they're a factory worker. So statutory maternity pay, and this is from www.gov.uk is where I'm getting this
Yeah,
information from.
right.
The standard statutory maternity pay for eligible employees can be paid for up to 39 weeks. So the first 6 weeks, you get 90% of your average weekly earnings before tax. The remaining 33% is 151.97 pounds, or 90% of their average weekly earnings, whichever is lower. That's still better than nothing that
Yeah,
you get over here.
yeah,
So
definitely.
women are able to feel the need. They don't have that urge between financial stability and making that decision between financial stability, feeding and caring for themselves and their child
Mm-hmm.
and the rest of their family, and keeping a job. If
Right.
you look at this pandemic, to what happened, a lot of women had to leave the workforce because they had to tend to their child doing homeschooling now,
Right. Right.
virtual schooling, and it's difficult. Some people still do both, but it's difficult. There's no way, and people think that working from home is the solution to spending time with your child. That's not the case unless you have flexibility within your
Yeah.
work schedule at on a day, so you can take um,
Yeah, yeah.
so
Working
you
from
can
home is not
take
not really an easy
hours.
thing to do
Yeah,
when you have
'cause
young children either.
you have to pay attention to what they're doing. You
Yes.
have to teach them. Like that is a full-time job in of itself.
Right.
So it's something that we definitely need to restructure. If COVID has 19 has ever um, taught us a lesson, is that we need to value the family unit. They are the family unit is the backbone of society. How I've always said this: healthy mothers equal healthy babies, which equal a healthy family, which equals a healthy society and nation.
There you go.
So we need to do that. So back to your question about breastfeeding and the
Yes.
father support.
Right.
Fathers can be a very instrumental partner in breastfeeding. Um, Even if the mother happens to succumb to maternal mortality,
Mm-hmm.
the father can still breastfeed through supplemental setups. So you can get milk from
Mm-hmm.
the donor bank, and the child can receive that either through a bottle or through tubes, spoon feeding, cup feeding. And I don't know if you ever watch Meet the Fockers, how
Mm-hmm.
they have that little setup thing. So that's a real device.
Oh yeah.
So if fathers want to try that. I actually need to do more studies on it to see how sanitary it is, but there are methods fathers to facilitate that. Fathers can help calm a child, do skin to skin,
Mm-hmm.
because that helps with calming and security, nurturing, and to prepare the child for breastfeeding. Fathers can encourage moms, prepare the device for pumping, can birth the child, get the child dressed, undressed, change your diapers and ready for feeding,
Mm-hmm.
can promote mom's comfort,
Mm-hmm.
give her back massages, encourage her along the way. Again, I know I said it before, but it's very important. Massage her feet, um, get the heating pads or the cooling packs for her to help with any breast pain that she may have with being full, engorgement,
Right.
um, or to help with the milk letdown with some warming packs before. And so they can help, and to help with labeling and storing of the milk in the freezer, and to, if you're doing feeding through the bottle, help to prepare the feeding for that moment. So fathers are very instrumental in
Mm.
encouraging and making it natural, because what happens is that the society, I don't know if you remember that there was a big uproar for moms feeding their child in public.
Right. Yes.
And so there were even laws against, they're trying to incite indecent exposure. And it's not indecent exposure. The nipple and the areola is definitely covered, even if they have a blanket over
Mm-hmm.
the child, which is not necessary to breastfeed and to have privacy. It's still, some people see it um, as an appropriate form of exposure, right? And so there are a lot of people who are trying to normalize breastfeeding back into a mainstream modality for feeding and providing nutrition. Because it is a natural thing. Breastfeeding, chest feeding is the most natural thing a woman, a family can decide for their child.
Mm-hmm.
It's human milk is made for humans. Cow's milk is made for cows. We are humans. We
Thank
deserve to drink human
yes.
milk.
Yes. It's funny that you should say that. When I guess you could go as far as to say traditionally, we have been having animal milk as a
Hmm.
supplement to human milk, whether it be cattle or goat and various forms of cattle, bison, ox, whatever form of cattle and goats, using the milk, their milk, as supplement. That's happened. I don't know of a culture that didn't do it or hasn't done it.
Hmm. And
So,
it's also important to note too that even if you choose to supplement with other forms of nutrition other than human milk,
mm-hmm,
you are not to give your infant, and an infant is someone who is under the age of 1,
mm-hmm,
any form of cow's milk,
mm,
whether it be whole milk, 2% milk, nothing, none of that. No goat's milk, nothing else.
mm-hmm.
Because that will pro- decrease certain nutrition values in the child and develop other issues. So
Got you.
it's either you do human milk or you do prepared formulas. And there are different types of formulas. Now, breastfeeding is also more economical. You don't need to do anything to breastfeed. The woman just needs to make sure that she eats well, and she actually needs to eat a little bit more when she's breastfeeding because of the calorie expenditure
So,
for lactation, and to continue taking her prenatal vitamins. Whether or not she's breastfeeding or not, she needs to continue to take her prenatal vitamins, but and to stay hydrated. That's all she needs to do and breastfeed. But if she's going to pump express milk, then that's where additional costs incur. However, it's still less than buying formula, especially for infants who have sensitive um, stomachs and other metabolic conditions that need the more expensive formulas that can range $40, $50 a can, one
right.
can,
Yes.
okay?
Yeah.
That is a lot of money per week, per month, per year.
Yeah. Yeah. That can really hurt your pockets. Um, for mothers having difficulty or perceived difficulty in producing milk or having that milk flow to baby, is there ever the recommendation, or the baby is not doesn't have good sucking strength to start the lactating process? I don't know if that's a thing. Is there ever a time when dads are recommended or encouraged to start the sucking process and then hand off to baby?
Well, if a child, if a baby has poor sucking for different reasons, they're born early or have some other conditions, maybe cleft palate or lip or other neurological disorders,
Mm-hmm.
there are things you can still do to facilitate breastfeeding. And one of them is to drop some of the colostrum, some of the um, breast milk onto the finger
Mm-hmm.
and have the baby suck on the finger. Bottle feeding is not like using a bottle. It's whether for breast milk or for formula feeding may hinder and change the growth and development of the oral facial muscles because the muscles that are used for breastfeeding have a symmetrical and equal use. Like, so for example, you're trying to get ripped, right? You're pumping the iron, you're
Mm-hmm.
doing you're doing biceps, working out the biceps, but you leave out the triceps.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to do both to have an overall healthy arm look, right?
Right.
Versus, yes, you're doing your curls, but the curls somewhat helps with the triceps, but that's not the focus area. Likewise, with bottle feeding, some muscles are worked more than others, so they're not developed at the same rate. But breastfeeding develops those muscles equally.
Um, do you know of any situations where nipple size plays a role?
No, having breast size has no barrier to how much milk you produce.
Well, not breast size, but nipple size.
Not nipple size, but the nipple shape.
Oh, nipple shape.
So, yeah, so
Okay.
you have, so the quote unquote normal nipple would protrude,
Right.
but some women have flat or inverted nipples. And so there are ways for you to continue to breastfeed successfully and your child to have normal growth and development with inverted or um, flat nipples. So there are techniques that we can do to help facilitate that.
Mm-hmm.
And working with a lactation consultant will help you to learn those different techniques.
Awesome. Um, we I know we gotta wrap up, Doc. There there are some bits of information. There are some bits of information that you want to share with the general public. Um, certain care packages that are available, certain programs that are running and with discounts to with certain programs, with some other programs, some giveaways that you had available also. Before time runs out, do you want to touch on any of those?
Yes, I do. So, Island Hope International is, again, the nonprofit organization that I founded. We had our I'm Every Woman Health Expo in April, and part of that initiative is the creation and distribution of maternal infant care packages to women who are less fortunate, those who are in shelters and centers in both Florida and Jamaica. So our
Okay.
goal is to create 100 care packages of the 30 items that are requested.
Mm-hmm.
And there are several ways for you to go ahead and help with this initiative. So one way we do have an Amazon wish list that is on our website on hope.org/donate. And that's at the bottom of the website. You'll see it. Or if you go to our social media pages at Island Hope, INTL, if you go to the bio, you'll see the link for the Amazon wish list, and
Mm-hmm.
you can buy any of the items that are there and add to it, and it'll ship to the address associated with the wish list.
Okay.
The other way that you
And
can
I have the
help,
image up on screen right now, actually.
okay, thank you. The other way you can help is to purchase these items and either mail it to the two locations um, that are on the flyer and on the website.
Mm-hmm.
And I will
Well,
tell you the,
I can jump in and say because you're accepting donations until June 3. For those who are
mhm.
watching on kevinstew.com right now, you'll see this on the screen. accepting donations until June 3rd. There are mail-in locations, mail to locations. One in Orlando, 6220 South Orange Blossom Trail, number 517, Orlando, Florida 32809 being the zip code, and in North Lauderdale, in South Florida, 840 Southwest 74th Avenue, North Lauderdale, 33068. And then you have two drop-off locations. There is Donna's Caribbean Restaurant in 9017 Pines Boulevard, Pembroke Pines, in Florida, zip code 33024, and you can give them a call, 954-437-8070. And Donna's Plantation at Jacaranda Square, 1923 North Pine Island Road, Plantation, in Florida, 33322 is the zip code, and you can also call them, 954-693-9120. I see here where you guys also have an Amazon Smile for those that shop on Amazon, where
Yes.
there's discounts.
So whether you shop on the browser or through the app, you can go ahead and set up the Smile.Amazon format. You get all the same things that regular Amazon gives you, such as Prime. The only difference is that you don't have to feel guilty shopping, because when you shop, Amazon gives. So whatever you purchase that's eligible, which a lot of things are, Amazon will donate 0.05% of the total purchases before taxes and donate it to us. So if you go to smile.amazon.com, and it'll ask you to select your charity, and you'll type in Island Hope International.
Gotcha.
And then on the app, you should be able to go to the settings. Let me try to find that for you, because I don't shop on the app.
Well, those that do will find it.
If you open if you open the app and find the settings menu, then tap on Amazon Smile, then you can just follow the on-screen instructions on Amazon there. So,
Okay.
and then if you ever forget, especially if you're on the browser and you type after you initially sign up with smile.amazon.com, it will prompt you, if you go directly to amazon.com, do you want to purchase to support charity? And then if so, it will switch you over to the smile.amazon.com. Same products, same shop, same list, everything that you find on regular amazon.com is on smile.amazon.com. So that's another way you can help. Or you can either Zelle or Cash App money to the phone number on.
I saw that too. Let's see.
On there.
So PayPal, it's islandhope.org. Cash App, it's $ Island Hope INTL. And Zelle, it's 917-328-6220.
Yes. And for the PayPal portion of it, if you go to our website, islandhope.org, or if you want to go to any page really, you'll see the donate button on the top of our website. So if you go to the islandhope.org, the main page, the donate page, or any of the other pages on our website, you'll see the donate button, the yellow button. You click on it, it'll take you to the PayPal page, and you'll be able to give.
Excellent.
So right now, so we're collecting about 30 supplies for mom and babies. All the items are on the website. Some of them include hygienic stuff, so toothbrush, toothpaste, soap, hypoallergenic soaps, and lotions preferred, such as Dove, breast pads and perineal spray. You'll have diapers and wipes and nipple creams, breast pumps. You have the handheld ones and the suction ones that don't work without any equipment needed, cold packs, etc. Hand
Mm-hmm.
sanitizers and masks as well. Also, we are doing a giveaway, a Mother's Day giveaway, and you would have to enter to win by the 14th at 11:59 p.m. Florida time.
Mm-hmm.
You can enter to win this book, a signed copy by the author, Black, Pregnant, and Loving It.
Mm.
It is a comprehensive pregnancy guidebook to today's women of color. And you'll also win a uh, 1 hour lactation consultation session. So
Okay.
you can either use that while if you're contemplating pregnancy, you are pregnant, or if you want to wait until after you have the baby,
Mm-hmm.
you can decide when you want to go ahead. And it's better to start lactation courses before you have the baby. That's the best time to start so that you know what to expect once you're in the hospital or the birthing center, or if you give birth at home, to go ahead and start with um, breastfeeding right away, as
Mm-hmm.
well as if you have a baby who ends up being preterm, or if you want to start collecting your the colostrum earlier before you deliver,
Right.
we can discuss all of that as well. So that's the giveaway for that. So all you need to do is go to our Facebook or Instagram page, and under the promotion, that giveaway, you need to tag 3 friends, follow the two persons that are sponsoring the giveaway, which is at the Health Connection. So TheHealthConnexion, and Black Pregnant and Loving It, BlackPregnant, and AND, Loving It. And then you would need to like the post, and for an extra bonus, all you would have to do is post it to your stories.
Mm, that's simple
So
enough.
it's just a simple, very simple. So one winner will be chosen at random. However, the Health Connection is also running a promo that they've allowed us to share
Mm-hmm.
via Island Hope as well. The
So,
pre natal lactation education courses. If you sign up by the 18th of this month, you can get it for $25. You just need to um, set up your appointment by the 18th. Not necessarily having the appointment on the 18th, but to call by the 18th to schedule your appointment. It's $25 for expecting moms, and
mm,
then for those who are already in that postpartum period, they can get $55 1 hour lactation consultant session, or $75 off a lactation consulting package. Or if they book a preconception or fourth trimester care appointment, you get an hour free lactation consulting period, and that's free to use before or after you give birth. So the preconception obviously is before you become pregnant, and the fourth trimester care is after you have the baby in the postpartum period,
mm-hmm.
up to a year. Yeah. So those
Oh,
are the
nice.
promotions. Yeah, those are the promotions that are running. We also have one additional thing.
Mm-hmm.
We have partnered with the March of Dimes for the Health Expo, and we're continuing the partnership. So this Saturday, May 15th, they are hosting a virtual, in a sense, virtual walk. So march with us. It's what it's called, Motherhood of a Movement, to raise funds and awareness to further the advance of maternal child health. There are a lot of momentum right now going on in Congress to advance maternal health and
Mm-hmm.
child health outcomes, especially as it relates to Black maternal health.
Yes.
So this And the March of Dimes is led right now by a Black woman. So
Oh,
this is a
nice.
very important initiative. So we are raising funds on their behalf as well. So if you feel compelled, anything you want to donate, even if it's $5, that's fine.
Hmm.
You can go on our website, and DJ Kevin Stu will have the link so to post up and share with you all and join our team. You can also go on our social media platform, islandhope.org. Sorry, Island Hope INTL at Island Hope INTL, and you can learn more about this movement with the March of Dimes. You can learn more about it on our website, islandhope.org/get involved, one word. And you
Hmm.
can join our team and learn more about the blanket change movement and how you can make a difference. And for those of you who missed the expo,
Mm.
don't worry, you can still have access to the resources that were shared um, for women. And it doesn't matter if you live in Florida, we have a list of national resources across the US as well as some in the Caribbean. So
Oh,
if you go
nice.
to that website, islandhope.org/get involved, at the bottom of the page, you'll see a list, a PDF for the
The material from the expo.
material. Yeah.
Sweet. And that was quite the expo. Um, I would recommend everyone checking out that information. Mothers are not, fathers are not. Everyone should check out this information because everybody knows somebody who is reproducing.
Yep, exactly. So I sent over our information to DJ Kevin Stew
Hmm.
on the night shift about how you can go ahead and help with this initiative with the March of Dimes, and how you can um, register with our other initiatives as well. So if you all have any information you would like to pass along, any upcoming events you want to partner with islandhope.org, you can always email us for the future expo at or info@islandhope.org. You can find us that way.
Excellent. And of course, all this information is available to you on the Night Shift to DJ Kevin Stew podcast, available everywhere, and on YouTube on the Night Shift to DJ Kevin Stew. So this information is always available. It's not like you're hearing it now and oh it's gone. I didn't get to write that down, or I didn't get to write this down. Don't worry. You can just go back to the podcast or go back to the recording on YouTube. Of course, all of this you can find on kevinstew.com. So come tomorrow, it will be there. You just go to kevinstew.com, and if you want to check on the Healthy Love, you can see other broadcasts on the Healthy Love. But this one will be at the top of the list of your recent podcasts. Okay? So it will be your most recent post. Doc, I want to thank you for taking the time out to be with us and to share about breastfeeding and the importance of it, and the various aspects of it. Some of the stuff that you mentioned as it relates to the rights of mothers in the workplace. I didn't know about it. And I
Yeah.
have children here in the US. I didn't know. So there are
Fathers have rights too. Fathers have rights. Their parental leave acts too. So this is not just about the child
mhm.
and the mom. Fathers have rights as well.
And I guess I'm gonna have to look into that one as another broadcast.
Yeah.
Um, maybe one of my real talk or one of my community and finance nights. I don't know how that one would how it exactly I'd play it, but definitely need to look into that one also. Doc, I thank you once again. truly appreciate of you taking the time out to share with us. I'm looking forward to many more of these in the months to come.
Thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed tonight's discussion. And if your listeners have any questions, feel free to send them to me. I will answer at a later time. We are also putting together a summer series.
Hmm.
So, all these questions that were not able to be answered um, at tonight's broadcast or a future broadcast, we will try our best to answer them at a later time.
Well, how can people reach you, Dr. Lexie?
So you can reach us through the website. There's a contact us, islandhope.org.
Hmm.
You can reach us on our social media platform, Island Hope INTL. That's at Island Hope INTL. And you can follow me on my Instagram page at fourth trimester NP. So that's the number 4th trimester. So TRIMESTER, N as in Nancy, P's and Peter.
Hmm.
And so that's how you can find me.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Doc. Once again, you enjoy the rest of your night. I know you're going to work.
Yes, I am.
So I said this last month, and I'll say it again. I don't know anyone that puts in work like you. This is crazy.
Gotta do what you gotta do to get things done, right? But I do take the time to care for myself as well.
Yeah, and the fact that you
Yeah.
love to do what you do, yeah, that's a big deal. So thank you. All right.
Thank you.
So head on off to work. I'ma close out this night shift broadcast, go into some musical therapy, and wrap this all up in a neat little bow.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
All right, you too. Take care.
Bye bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Lexie. So nice. As we get into our musical therapy, courtesy of GMAT Music Solutions, lots of info in that little time that we just did just now. A lot more info to come. So call your friends, tell your friends, check out the podcast, check out the YouTube, go to kevinstew.com where you have access to everything. You have access to the YouTube, you have access to the podcast directly. You do give your support. There's a link on kevinstew.com where you can support this broadcast and other podcasts. Just generally support kevinstew.com and the programming that we do here. We do encourage it. All right. So to jump on into our musical therapy, we kick it off with Korik.
Yeah. This one is for my mommy. Yeah.
For all the mommies out there, it's called I Feel Your Love.
I feel your love, mommy. After all that I put you through, yes, I feel your love, mommy. I know there's nothing you wouldn't do, so I could feel your love, mommy. I wrote this song just for you. 'Cause in this whole wide world, you're my favorite girl. I feel your love. You deserve to live like a queen, 'cause the day I'm born, you give this world a kick. You nurture your baby, I make sure you raise me with nerves of steel, so nothing much no faze me. Mommy, you've been my guiding light, always there to make sure everything alright. Your prayers build me, so wicked I could never kill me. No, I feel your love, mommy. After all that I put you through, yes, I feel your love, mommy. I know there's nothing you wouldn't do, so I could feel your love, mommy. So this song is for you. Cause in this whole wide world, you're my favorite girl. And I feel the lessons that you taught me, they won't be forgot. Every day before school, you must a prayer on spot. Proverbs 1 verse 10, mommy, you teach me that. If sinners entice thee, consent down not. Important lessons, some did easy to learn, but some me never catch till all my skin start burn. When mommy beat me, but she never ill-treat me. No, I feel your love, mommy. After all that I put you through, yes, I feel your love, mommy. I know there's nothing you wouldn't do, so I can feel your love, mommy. And this song is for you. Cause in this whole wide world, you're my favorite girl. And everyone is proud of the man I've grown to be. And I know that all I am is cause you've invested in me. I'm a man of ambition. My plan to take over the world. My want to make a bag of money and impress the crowd. But most of all I wanna make you proud. Cause I feel your love. I put you through, yes, I feel your love. Hey, I know there's nothing you wouldn't do for me to feel your love. Feel your song is for you. In this whole wide world, you're my favorite girl. I feel, mommy. After all that I put you through, yes, I feel your love, mommy. Hey, I know there's nothing you wouldn't do, so I can feel your love, mommy. And this song is for you. 'Cause in this whole wide world, you're my favorite girl. So let me see the lights as they prepare for all the mothers on the.
Yeah, man, flash up your lighters.
As I put your hand in the ear and say I love you, mommy, I love you.
15 minutes to the top of the hour.
You know, there's never enough minutes in a song. Never
To the son of Hezron. Track is called Mama.
Oh, I feel it. You've been there for me so many, many times, and I just want to let you know and appreciate it. And this song.
Mother's Day just passed this weekend, but every day is Mother's Day.
Never meant to cause you pain, was too young to understand. Sacrifices made. Mama never meant to hurt you, never meant to make you cry. Please forgive the foolish actions of a foolish child. The kids at school would boast daily about their mother's achievements. Wasn't too proud to let them know my mama was a helper.
track is called Mama, courtesy of Hezron. I want to thank you each and everyone for tuning in, for locking in, for sharing out. Thank you to the affiliates. One Harmony Radio, Island Worldwide, NIE Radio, WGLRO, the Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com, Hollywood Media Group, Dulcic Media. Truly appreciate love each and every one of you. This is Son of Crescenti. It's called My Trad, also known as Fully Anointed. Son of Crescenti, it's called Fully Anointed. Well, it's actually called My Trad, also known as Fully Anointed. This is Jay Will working out with Raps and Kush Band. It's called Love Your Life.
Myself will love your life and leave it right, yeah. Tomorrow's not promised today. Leave each
as we bounce out of this healthy love night in our musical therapy.
Go for what you want and let them tell you can. No, no. Tomorrow's not promised today.
Do remember, check out kevinstew.com for the latest podcasts.
You know me right, what the principles
and YouTube links. Everything is connected on kevinstew.com. And also, do give your support. Scroll down to the bottom of the page, hit that donate button. Support the business, yeah?
Tomorrow's not promised today. Live each moment like it's your last, okay? Don't you live it reckless, go for what you want and let them tell you you can. No, no, tomorrow's not promised today. Love your life, praise the Most High. Every day that you bed and sleep, nothing you have achieved. You call me on the phone complaining you got used to meet. And I make a little weed before you plant a seed.
You make a youth them go astray, go to some evil deed. There's nothing wrong with you. There's so many things to do, like utilize the wealth and health and strength which I give you. And deal with progress. Try your best. Oh. Love your life and live it right. Yeah. Tomorrow's not promised today. Live each moment like it's your last. Okay. Don't live it reckless. Go for what you want and let them tell you.
As I get out of here, I do want to encourage y'all to look out for members of your community. And just remind you that your community is not just the development that you live in, but it spreads far and wide. The people that you pass along the way, on the bus, the plane, the boat, the train, whether you walk, ride, or drive, these are members of your community. Do something good for one of them today, because you never know who's going to do something good for you tomorrow. My name is DJ Kevin Steele. This is how I like to do it to you, for you, and with you every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern. Join me tomorrow as we close out the night shift week with Real Talk Wednesday, also known as Marlon's favorite night shift broadcast. Let's say big up to Marlon Burrell, host of Real Rockers on Reggae Global Radio, and endless amounts of affiliates. You can catch Marlon on Real Rockers every Monday and Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Tomorrow's not promised today. Love your life, praise the Most High.
This is how I get on out of here. Good morning, good afternoon, good day to you wherever you are in the world. I can squeeze in some more, is it? I'll give you just a little piece of this, and then I'm out. The son of Marcel J. Ball. It's called Time Change.
The struggles of life face us each day. Gotta take this journey all the way. We've gotta face reality. Today for you, tomorrow for me. Come on, let's live in harmony. Times are changing before our face. We can't drop out of this race. No matter how long, no matter how hard, we gotta survive. Times are changing before our face. We can't drop out of this race. No matter how long, no matter how hard, we gotta survive. We have daughters, we have sons, so much work left to be done. What you believe you will achieve. So let's get together, everyone. Join hands and hearts together, take a stand. Big truth and rights to every man. Times are changing before our face. We can't drop out of this race. No matter how long, no matter how hard, we gotta survive. Times are changing before our face. We can't drop out of this race. No matter how long, no matter how hard, we gotta survive.
Quality Media Group, innovative streaming and recording, has done it again. A new way to get your business in full view of your neighborhood consumer through AdShare TV. It's available in your neighborhood today. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. Become a host today and place a TV monitor in a strategic location so it's easy to see. Get a 1-minute video ad or longer that plays anywhere in our network. Can't be a host? No problem. For a few dollars, we'll run your 30-second video ad. A host can run announcement specials like buy one get one free or discount ads. Let's turn your flyers into a 30-second video with music or a voiceover, or let us create and run your video ad with a spokesperson. Take advantage of our early enrollment discount. Join us today Your ad will be seen at least 30 times per day in your AdShare TV neighborhood. It's easy. Just call us. 754-999-6020. AdShare TV, part of Pulsing Media Group.
Yes, my people, check out I Red Funks on Reggae Global Radio every Saturday at 8 p.m. with Castillo, where I'll give you a pre-life, brand new, good for you. Kick me like a ball if you don't see a dance song, you hear that?
Greetings and salutations. This is DJ Kevin Stew inviting you to bubble up and simmer down with me in the Saturday Stew right here on Reggae Global Radio. Get ready for the special segment called The Secret Ingredient, where you may hear from your favorite artist or producer. Saturday Stew happens every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time exclusively on ReggaeGlobalRadio.com, where we get high on reggae. Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The night shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.